Hello, good evening. Welcome to the Dugout. It is the morning after. I think I've said it many times here before that the victory tastes much sweeter a little later. Like, they say the leftover biryani tastes nicer the next day because the masala that actually goes in well and mixes with the rice much better. So they say next day biryani tastes much nicer. It's like that. Dal makhni as well. So just like that, victory for the Indian team. Yeah, we don't want the full list of food. Just like that.
There's so many things to savor. I can talk about some savories as well.
Even a pizza the next day.
No pizza. No. Pizza is
No,
nice
after you
and
heat
fresh.
it. In the
Nice and fresh pizza. Even if you heat it, it's not. The freshly done bread in the oven, that is best at that time.
Yeah.
Anyway, it's no culinary show. We have plenty to talk about. We'll talk about cricket. So we've had all time to reflect at that outstanding victory by the Indian team at the Oval by a close margin of 6 runs. But more so, we now can look back at the series. And this is that usual time where we do, if I was to say it in Hindi, kya khoya kya paya time for us. What we're going to be doing this evening is looking back at some of the positives for India, majority positives. What is it that Indian Test cricket has achieved in this 5 Test match series, and also we'll take a look at certain areas, not really negatives, but certain areas where you still can improve, which have shown some sort of loophole or weaknesses for India that they can work on as they build towards the future. I think that is going to be the core of our discussion. But let's start off with where we were. Let's say now is the one day after the series is over. Let's go back to the eve of the series and try and match your thoughts. What were you thinking on the eve of the first test match at Leeds? What were your expectations from the Indian team? What did you think the result will be? And now when you're sitting 2 months on, how much have they met your expectations? How much have you been surprised? How much are you bang on in your assessment?
I think as far as what I was feeling at the beginning of the series versus what I'm feeling now, there's not a lot of difference in terms of what I was expecting from the team, but the way they have fulfilled that expectation, I think that has been sort of a roller coaster ride. At the beginning of the series, after that, I remember we had done that show just after the press conference of Shubman Gill had ended, and I was really positive after listening to that press conference, and that is why I had predicted 3-2 in favor of India, because I firstly thought that the 2 test matches that I thought India will not win would be Manchester and Oval, just keeping in mind the conditions that we've seen over the years at these 2 venues, and on the other venues I had that confidence, keeping in mind that these are the kind of conditions that the English team is going to dish out, the flat conditions that they did, and that is why I thought that 3 test matches with the kind of batters India had in a Shubman Gill, Yashasvi Jaiswal, I knew that they have that knack of scoring runs, and once they get into that zone, they will not really let their rhythm break moving ahead in the series. So I was a little too optimistic maybe. I was expecting India to actually go on and win this series, but how things have just panned out, it's just been surreal, I think. But maybe a little controversial opinion on this, and I wanted to talk about this yesterday as well, but I thought it might just be too early to say that. But maybe I know that it's been a very filmy sort of a series in that sense. Like, we saw Rishabh Pant coming with a fractured foot first, and Chris Wokes coming with a shoulder dislocation. 2 test matches literally going down to the wire, be it the Lord's Test, be it this test match. But I somehow, I don't know, very honestly feel that I agree that they were really even closely fought games, but was it because of really good quality cricket, or did the quality that we see wasn't really up to the mark? That is something that I've been a little skeptical about.
Very tough to judge, no? Because I think when you see 2 teams battling it out neck and neck, it's very tough to judge the quality per se. How do you decide? It's a contest between bat and ball. You could say that both teams are not the best team in the world. Both are not even the worst. If they are at the same level, then they look good. How do I judge the quality? of cricket and say that, I don't know, were there moments where I saw some fine batting? Yes, I did. Were there moments where I saw some fine display of bowling? Yes, I did. Were there moments where I saw real flat conditions? Yes, I did. Were there moments where I saw conditions really help the bowlers? Yes, I did.
But there were moments where teams just sort of threw the match. There were lots of moments like that.
Yeah.
Like catches were dropped, and I saw wayward bowling all throughout the series. Like I did not see, apart from Mohammed Siraj's and Prasidh Krishna's spell that they bowled yesterday. Before that, I cannot pinpoint a particular spell by a bowler that really, like, you know, that
Jasprit Bumrah's spell in the first innings and
Ben Stokes'
in the Lord's Test match.
There were so many.
Ben Stokes' spell, that 10 over burst followed by a 9.2 over
Washington
burst.
Sundar's spell where he picked up those 4 wickets.
Hmm.
I mean, just brought you back. I mean, there are, I don't think.
Even Jofra Archer, I would say.
Yeah, there were certain times where he was unplayable. See, again, I mean, that's why I said that are these, let's say, is this English team, for example, is this English team one of the best English teams we've seen? Answer to that is no, right? So that way you can argue that was it like the best quality series? Why? Because people started comparing it to Ashes of 2005. I think the Ashes of 17-18 also was quite exciting with like real 2 tough teams with a lot of superstars competing. I think yes, on a lot of ways you could say that this was slightly more depleted English team, or maybe a team that is trying. I mean, if you ask me now in terms of where this English team stands, I think they'll struggle in the Ashes against Australia. That's
exactly why I had this thought.
But at the end of the day, you only play the opposition, right? So that's why I'm saying it's very tough to judge what level the series is. But I will only judge the series on its competitiveness. And if I saw multiple phases of a test match or a series where there were so many close contested matches where it was, never only one-way traffic, things kept going up and down, different people becoming heroes, multiple heroes from both sides. So I think all of it put together, I think it will be one of the most memorable series that I've seen.
Has to be. I have no problem with the quality of cricket I saw. I think totally agree with you that there's, this is what it is in terms of the two teams, and you don't change the players. The squads were cast in stone from both the teams. Relatively less on experience, both the sides, from the kind of experience that both these teams had 6 to 8 months backwards. However, when I look at how they've performed individually, I think I've been very impressed with whatever skill sets that these batters had to present. Sai Sudarshan made his debut in this series, and we saw, while he wasn't able to impress in 3 out of the 4 innings, in the 4th innings we saw him get a gritty 61 for which he'd played so many balls. Jamie Overton also, impressed briefly, and he was in a position to take the match away from you. Atkinson's not played a lot of Test cricket as well. Neither is Bashir, but we've all. I think in terms of cricket, I wouldn't say that it left more to desire in any way. There was not more to be desired. My appetite was satiated, I would say, cricketing appetite. The one aspect in which I felt the series was a bit of a letdown was, I think, the catching from both the sides, and it ended up changing the course of the match. If it wasn't for the drop catches of a Dugout and a BROOK, things could have been extremely different in those matches. Likewise, if a Jaiswal's catch was not dropped multiple times in the slip cordon, then who knows what the fate of this particular match, the Oval match, would have been. So in terms of the number of catches that were dropped, which is I think in excess of, or just about 41, I think, in terms of the catching, I felt yes, there were a few slip-ups from both the sides, but otherwise, as you pointed out, we've seen a double ton. In fact, we were in a position of seeing the double ton become a triple ton as well. We saw records being broken. Joe Root become the second highest run scorer in Test cricket history, and so many other milestones as well. So no problem at all when it comes to the cricketing aspect of things.
Yeah, back to what we had started off with.
Where is it that I stand compared to what the expectation was? I think for me, the expectation always was that these are evenly matched teams. There were clear frailties in both the sides. There was a lack of experience as well. Looking at the batting, you felt that India were okay on experience, but when you saw that there was one man in Joe Root in the opposition that individually had more centuries than the entire Indian batting lineup put together, it sort of balanced things out over there, and you felt that India don't really have that experience or pedigree to play overseas. But then the Indian bowling sort of compensated, because the English bowling wasn't that menacing to at least look at on paper. But then a Ben Stokes turned up the way that he did, and very briefly was the highest wicket taker in the series as well. Eventually got overshadowed, but I always thought this will be a very closely fought series and an evenly contested series, and that's why probably I'd gone in with a 2-2 prediction as well for this series, and yeah, quality of cricket, like I just said, I was very happy. The one thing that blew me away was that all 5 matches went down to all 5 days. That is something you don't get to see in modern cricket. I don't remember any other series that's taken place over the last couple of decades at least that has gone the kind of distance that this one has, or the level of competition in terms of the balls faced, in terms of the number of fast bowling that we overs from fast bowlers we saw, or the very fact that you needed a fifth day, a first session, second session, or even the third session, as we saw in a couple of those matches. I think that is something I could never sort of predict, and I think that was the biggest feast for us to see over the course of the last 2 months.
The last series that went, all 5 test matches went to 5 days, was the Ashes 17-18 in Australia. That was the last series where you saw, so not too long ago, about 7 years ago, when
so many of those contests were one way as well.
No, that I'm just saying, you talking about factually, that for any test series to have seen 5 test matches go to 5 days, it happened about 7 odd years ago. Overall for me, I mean, I had seen England win this series by 3-1. That was my prediction, and it could have been, there was a difference of 6 runs at the end between 3-1 and 2-2, but I could not be happier with this 2-2 result, because as I said, I did not expect this, and anything that exceeds your expectation is great. And why I'm really happy is because of the fact that this was a litmus test for this team in transition. I know that had this team lost 3-1, as a lot of us were fearing it would, the daggers would have been out, they would have been criticized, and they would have been facing an uncertain future. Surely Gautam Gambhir's tenure probably could have ended. Shubman Gill's tenure as captain wouldn't have ended this early, but he would have been already under scrutiny. And then you would have said, oh, listen, it's not started well. We don't know whether it's the right thing. So next 2-3 series, he would have been scrutinized for every little thing that he does. Also, we would have been maybe talking about where is our fast bowling stock. Without Bumrah, we can't do anything. We can't win. We need those fast bowlers. Where are our next generation of batters? Karun Nair hasn't really stepped up. Sai Sudarshan, in the chances that he's gone. See, the whole narrative would have looked very different. And I think 2-2 completely changes that narrative. And I think this is the kind of push that a team needs sometime in transition, to do it overseas, to draw a series overseas, which is never really easy in a tough competitive series. I think sometimes this start really helps you to believe in yourself, because there would have been some self-doubt within this team. And I think now at least what I can say is that you can see that you have the personnel, the material, the raw material on which you can build something special. So for me, I think one of the best series of the 21st century, alongside the BGT that we witnessed, and maybe a few series come to mind. India Australia at home in 2017 was great fun. The Ashes series that I mentioned, the contest between Archer and Smith, that whole series.
Even the 2005 Ashes.
5 as well, yeah.
They're calling it, in fact, I was looking at some of the headlines. What is it that's being said in Australia, in the UK? In the US as well, I was looking at some of the headlines which said that perhaps England witnessed one of the best summers, or arguably the best summer, and it pips the summer of 2005 as well, as far as the summer of cricket in England is concerned.
No, I think what they're talking about mostly is in terms of number in the turnout, and that will always be there. I know Ashes is a big draw, or wherever Indian fans are concerned, even on a Monday when you know the game is going to get over on multiple days, fans really came up to the
But
ground.
very interestingly, a lot of them I saw evenly split between India and England fans, even on a Monday, and I think that also sort of.
See, England fans always come. They love their Test cricket. I have
proof
covered
of
matches in
that was also the
England.
WTC final. Didn't we see
Yeah.
on work days as well? England had nothing to do with the final
Correct.
besides being the hosts.
But
the
you
locals
don't
still
get a lot
turned
of
up.
Australian fans in
Australia.
traveling.
For the opener of the
England.
World Cup, what did we see in Ahmedabad? We saw nothing, right? If India weren't playing in that opener, we didn't see a 100,000 stadium be even half filled.
So that's what I'm saying. In terms of interest and the money that they must have gotten wherever India is involved is great. But yeah, I mean in terms of quality of cricket in England also 2005 I'll put much higher. Even that Ashes series where Smith after getting hit, concussion, comes back hundreds. What a series that was. In fact, to be fair, I know it was one-sided. Even the last Ashes series in England, with all the controversies of Bairstow walking out and Bazball them declaring, and it was a fun series
absolutely
to watch. So I mean, you do get that series. Yeah, but from an Indian standpoint, it's one of your finest. I think alongside the BGT of 2021, I'd put this right up there. Anyway, now that we're going to be looking at the positives, so each of us can pick up one biggest positive for you from this series.
You want to go first? Okay. I actually have two on my mind, but to begin the conversation, I'm going to be naming one of those. For me, I think this Indian team has now gotten enough reason to believe that in Test cricket, they can do without a Jasprit Bumrah. Of course, it'll be great if you can have Jasprit Bumrah in the fold, especially for such a long series. But this has now given you belief that you can not just operate, but you can win without a Jasprit Bumrah as well. At the start of the series, I don't think you could think about this being a possibility. Also, the first time that you didn't have a Jasprit Bumrah for all the 5 matches of such a big tour. So what this has done is, if you are looking at monitoring his workload going forward, there are already suggestions being made that at home you can probably play him where there's a 2-match, 3-match series, you can have Jasprit Bumrah play then. But overseas, if you're looking at moving in a direction without a Jasprit Bumrah being there, perhaps you now have the belief that you can have a bowling attack that can pick you 20 wickets, that can win you a test match even away from home. And it didn't happen once, it happened twice. Once you can say it happened by fluke, it happened by whatever means, but it doesn't happen twice over just like that. So you have gotten some answers. You've realized now that a Mohammed Siraj's name has to be taken in the same breath as a Jasprit Bumrah. If they're playing together, he can no longer be second fiddle. Like you would say Shami Bumrah, you will now have to say Bumrah Siraj in the same breath now. So, and if a Bumrah isn't there, numbers are there to suggest that he averages better if Bumrah's not there. So he's willing to take up the responsibility as well. You give him some support on the other side, he can take your bowling forward as well. He can really hold the bowling unit together. I think that is a big silver lining for this Indian team if they want to have some sort of a template going forward in big series, where again this will be the thing, there will be question marks over Jasprit Bumrah. Now you have that belief that we can go ahead and win matches overseas as well.
Like my point now? Okay, no, I thought we'll chip in first on Jasprit Bumrah a little bit more.
You want to?
No. I think Harshit sir has covered almost everything. I think the biggest positive, according to me, is KL Rahul in the series. I think moving into this...
Let me come closer to hear that.
Because moving into this series, at the end of the day, KL Rahul, BGT, he did start well, but again ended the BGT with an average of 30. And the Indian team is undergoing a transitional phase, and we knew that maybe the rope isn't going to be that long for a KL Rahul moving forward, because also age is not on his side, keeping in mind the number of youngsters in this test team. Plus, if the result of this series would have gone the other way, the first person on the chopping block again would have been KL Rahul, if the kind of performances that he did would not have come. If India had to be successful, it had to be KL Rahul who should have done majority of the run scoring, and that's exactly, I think, what KL Rahul has done also. Before this, KL Rahul was never that senior player in the team. You could never really bank on him. Like, you never took his name with a Rohit Sharma or a Virat Kohli, whereas he should have been in that same league with the kind of potential KL Rahul came in with, and with the kind of experience KL Rahul has by now. He has shown exactly that this time, that this in this series he has shown that playing under pressure isn't that big a problem. I said this yesterday also. I know that he did well under pressure during the Champions Trophy, but for me personally, that was a very small sample size to actually believe that KL Rahul can still perform under pressure. But in this series, he has looked really assured even under pressure. He has delivered whenever the team has been under pressure, and the even bigger thing has been that KL Rahul even under pressure has played the game that comes naturally to him. He's not really tried to be in a box. He's not really tried to play a certain role, play a specific role which does not suit him. He has just played the kind of cricket that suits KL Rahul himself in Test cricket. And now suddenly in this team, KL Rahul can be looked up to. You can call KL Rahul the senior pro in this batting lineup with a Shubman Gill. He's somebody now who I feel quite assured about, that KL Rahul in any conditions I know can give me those runs, and has given that assurance. And I think that's the biggest positive for the Indian Test batting lineup, because in this batting order there aren't many batters who have really cemented their place. There's just KL Rahul, there is just Shubman Gill, Rishabh Pant, and to an extent Yashasvi Jaiswal. And the Indian team is still figuring out a couple of more holes that they need to fill in moving ahead in this Test journey. So KL Rahul in that sense has definitely solidified his place, and not just that, I think he's just start to understand that how important his role in this team is and how much he really needs to, the way he needs to play. I think he's found the perfect mojo finally after so many years.
So we've got two positives already, that India can start thinking of a Test future without Jasprit Bumrah. So I think what Harshit with that extension is saying, that I think we have enough of a fast bowling stock to look after us in Test match cricket. Shashwat believes that this is the series of KL Rahul. Now you've got a solid opener alongside Jaiswal in Test match cricket. So
but a long series without a Bumrah, I would still want to have him if workload permitting. So home series, I think, again, a suggestion that was made by Sunny Ji only on our show, that 2 series, 3 series at home, which will be the case. We know the FTP, and as per that, you're playing all these 2 match series at home. So, of course, having a Jasprit Bumrah is always a luxury, but at least it's not panic stations. It is not, what do I do if there's no Jasprit Bumrah? That was exactly what we were thinking going into the second Test match, where we knew there won't be a Jasprit Bumrah. Right, we didn't know when is it that we will get 2 matches from Jasprit Bumrah in succession. So now you will not be put in that shell. Now you will not be having those doubts. That's what I think these 2 wins without a Bumrah does to this team.
For me, the biggest positive is going to be with regards to Shubman Gill, the captain. And I know that he's still a work in progress, but the captaincy in Test match cricket is such a vital part of it. It can make or break the team. And I think in that sense, Indian cricket was shooting in the dark when they went with Shubman Gill, because there was not too much of an experience. It could have been a disastrous decision. It could have been a very good decision. I think with the way the series has ended, I'm glad to note that it has proven to be a good decision. Yes, he will learn, he will get better as he goes along. But I think even in this series, he made a few tactical errors, but he also was sharp at a lot of places tactically as well. I think in the field placement, see again towards the end of that match, he had spread the field for number 9 and number 10. People were like, why are you giving him singles? But he had his own logic. He said, no, I'd rather have them play multiple shots to get those runs, rather than bring the field in and allow them a few shots to get closer to the target. I think the way, of course, you give credit to the bowlers, but that whole 35 thing, you needed a calm and composed captain to do the thing. So I think while he made errors with, let's say, a Washington Sundar, sometime how to bring him on, or even how to utilize a Shardul Thakur, sometime with the field placements as well, but other times he was good with his field placements and his bowling changes. So, and again, let's not forget, he also lost 5 tosses, which is not a reflection on how he is as captain, but just the luck of the draw, it didn't go his way, and yet to pull his team through to 2-2. So I think in a Shubman, now at least you have punted on the right person, and you, just as I said, for the team, you have someone to work with. And for me, the biggest tick mark in a captain is the fact that he is galvanized the entire team, and the team is ready to fight for him. I think the signs that you saw of Rishabh Pant coming out to bat in that situation, a Siraj ready to bowl over after over, a Prasidh Krishna ready to bowl over after over, a Jadeja batting his heart out. I know each of them are playing for themselves, they're playing for the country, that's all right. But sometimes if the captain does not have that one-on-one relationship and cannot galvanize the team, you will never see this fighting performance. So I think Shubman, when he was asked yesterday after the day's play was over, and I think he summed it up best, he said, Michael Atherton asked him, what is the biggest thing that you have learnt about yourself as captain and the team? And he said that we never give up. He said that's the biggest lesson I've learned from this, that this team and me as captain, we never give up. And I think that was brilliant. I'd said it yesterday that
in fact, like at the start I said I have two things on my mind. This was the other thing that I wanted to...
You'll get your second chance.
But since it's mentioned, so I'm just adding my inputs over there.
I have exactly the opposite though.
Okay.
That this
Can
team
I finish my point then?
doesn't... Oh yeah.
So, I mean, I'd mentioned this exactly the way I had said it yesterday as well, in terms of that, this is his biggest achievement. But what I'm glad to note is, and this I think not a lot of people know, I don't know how many of you, and this is what I had suspected, I'm happy to note, because I said it in the show. And then late at night when I went and saw the post-match celebration, because we could not see it, I happened to see a KL Rahul interview, and this is what KL Rahul said in that post-match interview. He said that Gill, and imagine this is coming from KL Rahul, who many could have considered to be a captaincy contender. Now he's seen a young guy who's taken his role. He was all praise for Shubman Gill. He said he will have a great future as captain. And one thing that he mentioned, he said one thing that none of us, you guys see, but he does behind the scenes, is how much time he spends with each player and the kind of one-on-one relationship that he has with each player. He said a lot of you don't realize it because, you only see what's happening on the field. And he said that's the hallmark of a great captain, that he's developed a one-on-one relationship with each player and tried to work on that. So that was, I had suspected that, but it was lovely to hear KL Rahul say that in the post-match. I think Dinesh Karthik was the one doing his interview and he came out to say it. So I think in that sense, for a young captain, imagine it was under pressure, he was feeling the heat with, the 90-second gamesmanship. Everyone was criticizing him for a lot of mistakes that he made, but still for him to be, so focused and get his team to perform at this level, I think I did not see that side of Shubman before this. I wasn't 100% sure will we have that sort of a side, that can he be a leader of men. I think that is the first thing that you see, and that for me is the biggest tick mark. As I said, if supposing someone's not a good captain tactically, I can teach him. If I am the coach, if I am his well-wisher, his coach from his state, I can teach him, here you made a mistake, be like this, here you made a mistake. But I can never teach a person to be a leader of men. I think that is a skill that is inherent, that is inside you, and that is a very important feature that a captain must have. And that is what he's done. He's finished the series, as Shivam wants me to point out. People used to talk about his 35 average. That was a big thing against him. People used to talk about that. Can he converse in English? Is he good enough to be that guy? People would talk about his voice. I saw a lot of memes about his voice because, saying that he does not, you need a commanding voice to be a leader of men, and that's and I could see memes left, right and center, which at that time also, even before the series started, I thought was very unfair. But all of that, I think he's proven his detractors wrong. So I'm mighty impressed. And even towards the end of that series, when the series finishes, the way he carried himself and the team carried, and with the clarity that he spoke in that Michael Atherton interview, well done.
I think everybody really talks about his work ethics, and I think that is really rare in today's day and age. I've not heard too many cricketers who are so highly praised just because of the work ethics in this generation.
Work ethics.
There is a Dhruv Jurel, another person who has very good.
There will be lots of them. Let's say KL Rahul also has work ethics, and so many.
No, I'm talking about in this generation that we have heard about more players who don't have that good work ethics. But Shubman Gill has been on the other end.
But I'm saying, let's say Karun Nair is known for his work ethics. Sai Sudarshan, Shubman Gill, so many work ethics.
Even
KL
Jaiswal.
Rahul, everyone work ethics. My point is, there's no matter how much work ethics. So, for example, KL, there was a time that you realize maybe he's not a leader of men.
But that he's also realized that himself.
Yeah, but I'm saying that is something that you can't put in. maybe the 2 years of captaincy that Gill did in IPL changed a lot. And another very important thing that I see in captains is, and it has happened to a lot of captains, as soon as they're given this added responsibility where you have to have these one-on-one conversation with each of the player, worry about what to do at toss, worry about the bowling changes, worry about field setting so much that at the end of the day, the batting begins to suffer. What Gill has shown is, and I'm not only taking this series as an example, I think the IPL that just finished is also a great example, where he took all that extra responsibility of being a captain, yet his batting continued to fire. And that's another thing that you need in a captain. So, on all parameters, I think you've struck gold in that sense to get Gill as captain. So, for me, that's one of the big positives. We can go around if you have more positives.
Yeah, the other thing, just extending the point that you mentioned about this team's fighting spirit, as was said by the Indian captain as well. I think it has to be one of the standout features for India when you look back at this test match, because not once were England allowed to dominate the way that you thought you would be dominated. There was a fight in every single match. Look at the losses that you had. A rare 350 plus chase that you saw in the first match. You won the second test match. The third one was lost with just 22 runs. So there was a big fight over there. There was even a bigger fight, I would say, in Manchester, where you thought that the odds were stacked against you. The captain steps up, scores, in my opinion, his best 100, even better than the 269 that he scored in the second test match. That fighting 100, that fighting spirit, he led India's charge in that match in Manchester, and then in this match as well, where you thought everything was going downhill after that partnership, to even believe that a team that was 301 for 3, that inside the next 66 runs you'll be able to bowl them out, takes a lot of mental belief, takes a lot for each individual in that setup to believe that this can still be done. It is not too late. No matter there's a Brook over there or a Joe Root over there, we don't mind. Chips are down, but we know that we've got it in us as a unit to flip this whole thing around, and that's what they did, and they did it in every test match. So I genuinely have a lot of respect for this team for showing that grit, for showing that desire to win, and never say die attitude. We talk about it in sports so often, but there's only a few teams out there that can only that can exhibit it the way that the Indian team did.
Ashwin had said, they do it.
Yeah, but
Ashwin knows this team. When he said they were pushed against the wall, in his podcast, he had said that now that, when that whole fiasco, when you're putting them under pressure, the groundsman thing, he said, in these kind of situation, I know this team, they will come back fighting hard. That's what they did.
But the only thing that again, just before I get to the positive thing, I feel that I don't know, see, you got 350, you let them score 350 in the first game, you got that chase. Yesterday also 374, you almost got that chase. In the Lord's test match, they were just 193 runs with so many batters, you should have chased that. I don't know, is it the way you fight it and the way you came back, you won this test match, the way you fight it at Lord's, all of that was really good. But just the fact that you reached a situation like this, I don't know how many teams across the globe in test cricket, top test teams are going to reach a situation like this.
As in, I didn't understand.
As in 357.
And allow the opposition to get to the target.
But
okay.
See, I think.
No, what I'm trying to say, they won't mess it up. If this is the quality that you're going to concede 350 runs, not every time are you going to win a game like this.
No, sure, but again, as I said, it was a
evenly. Yeah.
No, but you can look at it from both sides. There were many chances that India could have won it 4-0 as well.
Yeah.
There were chances that you could have lost this 3-1. So I think each series, if we go back 2005, there were multiple moments that one team could have wrapped up the series, the other you could have gone. BGT again, it could have gone either way. That famous series, 36 you were all out after that. Who knows? Okay, next one, Melbourne, you had Sydney, you could have, if it wasn't for that fighting effort.
Yeah.
You could have lost that. Gabba, I think you were 1 wicket away, had Pant fallen early. You never know. So again, it'll always be that you look at what is the thing that you're doing right or wrong. Again, as I said, still a team that, in that sense, England far more settled with a Stokes in charge, and someone like a legend like Root being there within their team. Vokes was a seasoned campaigner. They went with a far more settled thing. You, in that sense, were trying a different combination. Some of them were experienced enough, I agree, like a KL Rahul was played enough test matches. But again, new captain, nothing. As I said, if I started expecting 3-1 as a result and it's 3-2 in the it is 2-2 in the way that it's turned out with close matches, I can't complain about it.
Yeah, true.
That's where.
Another positive, I think, on a much lighter note, I think Abhimanyu Easaran finally got a lot of game time. That is something I'm really happy about. Last 2 days he was on the field all
He
throughout.
was celebrating also, is he?
Yeah.
Come on,
But
that
in
wickets
place
were
of whom
falling.
was he there? Who was he in place of? Because he
Karun,
was
I
there
think.
for all 2 days.
Karun.
May have
Could
been.
be. So they're swapping.
I think I saw Karun.
So maybe the interview that his father
Yeah.
has given maybe would have had a positive impact.
How was it have a positive?
At least he's coming on the field now. Earlier,
But there was no option also now.
no, why? You
Oh,
could have sent in
Arshdeep was the
Kuldeep,
only-
Arshdeep.
Kuldeep or Arshdeep, yeah.
Nobody, Abhimanyu Easaran.
I think fielding wise they
Yeah.
went with a better fielder.
Otherwise, they could have been Dhruv Jurel or anybody, Sai Sudarshan if he would have been.
Exactly. Because of the better fielder.
Better.
Saito was there in the 11th.
Yeah, I think if he would
Yeah.
not have.
At least he had a chance to be part of that
Yeah.
winning moment,
Winning
even though
moment.
he didn't get a chance to bat or anything like that. That in itself.
So I was really happy about that.
Your thoughts?
I mean, again, I think we've almost zeroed in on all the positives, and just an extension to that, I think we also, now have a fast bowling crop that you can. I just hope that they keep that fast bowling crop together.
So there'll be Prasidh, Siraj, Akashdeep, Arshdeep, because
Yeah, yeah.
he's part of the fold.
Keep an Anshul Kamboj there. You've given him a chance.
Kamboj.
Don't let him go. Bring in a Harshit Rana. You gave him a chance. You don't let him go. You've got Mukesh. I will get Mukesh back as well. I'm just saying, because injuries are so common with fast bowlers, it's a possibility that one or the other won't be available. But I'm saying, don't let these guys just go away with one test match here and there. Keep this as your stock. Just as at one point you had the likes of Umesh, Ishant, Bumrah, Shami, Bhuvneshwar
Bhuvi.
Kumar. So there was a pack of 5-6 that you had, and you kept rotating between them. Keep this about.
Would you add
6
Shardul in the mix as well?
I doubt they'll give Shardul any game. It was clear when you're not going to give him a game in England.
Yeah.
There's going to be
home, he's played just one match, which is his debut.
No chance that he's going to be getting any game in India. So I think these 6 fast bowlers good. Just that, because I was looking at one thought crossed my mind before we look at areas that they can work on. What did you make of Harry Brook being given the player of the season?
I was bemused.
surprised.
Yeah, I said
so
this
you know how
here.
it happened, no?
Yeah, the opposite coach.
Has this
Coach,
happened for the
yeah.
first time or it
Yeah,
happened?
they usually ask the commentators.
Commentators
This time they
is
said the
first time.
opposition coach.
Yeah.
Yeah, first time.
Very
they've
surprising.
asked.
Gambhir
How-
just doing Gambhir things.
What do you mean doing Gambhir?
Like he likes to pick the in the sense that
The outlier.
Yeah, the
He's referring to the Ronaldo Messi thing, and he said Rashford.
Acha. So it's
And
that.
now
So it must be like Stokes or Root? No.
Stokes or
Harry
the
Brook.
obvious choices were both. But I was also look at the gap over there. There's a
For
massive
me, it was
gulf.
a contest between Root and Stokes.
Stokes,
Exactly.
yeah, and I would have gone with Root.
In fact, to that extent, I think Duckett has almost the same number as Harry Brook, and I think he was far more consistent.
Yeah.
His spread is far more consistent.
481, 462, both averaging just about
But I'm
the
saying
same.
in terms of a spread, Duckett was far more consistent through the series.
Because if you remove the 158 odd that Harry Brook had
That's what I'm saying.
scored,
So,
it changes
Harry
things
Brook
up.
is 99, like that. So it's here or here, here or here. Duckett was in fact consistent throughout the
didn't
series.
really make any sense.
I would actually put in terms of my ranking. No, I'm going to put in terms of my ranking. I think Joe Root first.
Batters?
No, just in England
contenders.
performers. Joe Root first, Ben Stokes second, Duckett I'll put 3, and then maybe put Harry.
Even Tongue.
Josh Tongue actually. Josh Tongue I'll put.
If you had to give it,
Actually, Josh Tongue I'll put 3, Duckett 4, Harry Brook 5. For
There's
England.
a Jamie Smith as well, who's a very
Jamie
good
Smith.
contender.
Maybe then I'll put him at 6, but
Harry Brook nowhere. I really don't understand why did he do that.
it would have been much like Do you want to give it, like if it was the opposite, you want to give it to Shubman or Siraj? No, I'll give it to Prasidh Krishna. Something like
Or
that.
Sundar.
Or Sundar. Or Jadeja.
Oh, Jadeja.
Something like that. Or KL. Or Yashashvi.
Didn't really make any sense.
Yeah, it didn't to me neither. Yeah, Brooke is very upset yesterday. Again, I put that tweet out yesterday saying that Harry Brooke will regret this shot for a long time to come. A lot of people replied to me saying, no, he will not. That's how he plays. He'll never regret it, this and that. I'm happy to note I was just going through an article today. He has expressed his disappointment saying that he shouldn't have done it at that time.
But
I mean, batting aggressively is fine.
But it's the
But
same
was a
logic
bit
that you apply
mindless.
to Pant as well.
No, but as I said, batting aggressive is fine. Play aggressive shots, which he did. That I thought was a bit mindless. Like he was trying to be a bit cocky.
No, but if you end up middling it, that's exactly the way you get those runs as well.
That's what I'm saying. There's a difference between being aggressive and mindless. I think he was trying to be cocky and like dominate. Like we're big daddy. You play aggressive. Play your shots. Hit your fours. Go for it. I just felt that the way he did was like, let me show you, we've like decimated.
But my point, he
Anyway,
was
good
doing
for
that
India.
really because he was stepping out, he's clearing
I'm happy.
deep cover.
I'm happy. He should be like that only. But maybe he's also happy at least
But
this way he gets man of the series. So
Yeah.
doesn't matter what
Maybe he's
happens.
gotten man of the series for that exact shot. That's also possible.
Maybe it's the other way around. Let's give him
That's
man of the series.
Gambhir's.
He helped us.
Draw the series.
So because Gambhir is wanting to give the confidence, you keep playing like this only. It's good you'll get runs, but you'll also throw your wicket away. But you keep the award. This is exactly how we want you to play. And of course, 2 years later,
But I
we
like
meet you
this
in
system, this new system. I like it. The way they're giving man of the match and
The
man of
coach
the
is
series. Yeah.
It should be actually asked on the captain. The opposite captain should give.
But I think it's
Because captain will be able to tell you he's in the field, no? The player that has given him the maximum pain, he will pick him.
I think that's what I think. Because when I thought
think.
from Gambhir's lens, I thought that maybe why Gambhir would have given it to Harry Brooke. The reason for that would have been that you want to give it to somebody who you had the most difficult time planning about, and I think that could have been Harry Brooke, and that is why they gave it to Harry Brooke.
Okay, AK is telling us that every time since 2018 coaches have been deciding. But Shivam, our producer, is telling me this is the first time. Shivam?
There's been commentators.
Gargi Singh he didn't give it to Crawley.
No, it doesn't matter since when they are giving it. We just found the choice a bit strange. Rest is fine, you can be giving it from whenever. Anyway, now to the one area that you think India still needs to win. Of course, as we are celebrating it being 2-2, for me it feels like a win. Different people might have different opinion and everyone's entitled to do that. But it also does not mean that, there are certain areas that you can't work on. So what is it?
You can start this time.
You want me to start? For me, so I think there are a few, but I think number 3 is a very important place in any test team, and I don't think that we've zeroed in on that number 3. I think you tried 2 players in a Karun Nair and a Sai Sudarshan, neither of whom have given me definite answer that they can be long-term number 3. I could be proven wrong. Maybe they continue with a Karun Nair in the home season also and he does it, or they continue with a Sai Sudarshan in the home season as he does it. But because we are talking about as of now, number 3 is a position that was, always been as important as number 4. Gundappa Vishwanath, you had Dilip Vengsarkar batting, Mohammad Azharuddin used to bat at that position, Rahul Dravid batted at that position, Cheteshwar Pujara batted at that position. Very important for India. So who is that number 3? I think that search for number 3 continues. I'm not 100% sure who's that guy going to be. What I'm sure about is that Abhimanyu Ishwaran probably won't get
His
that.
father also said exactly this.
He won't get a chance. But
He said that when you need to find a number 3, you get people from number 4, 5. When you need to find opener, you push people. But who's made for number 3 are not playing him at number 3.
Before he said it, we have said it here.
Yeah. Always. His father
Since
just
BGT.
His father just went it out for 35 minutes straight.
No, but I don't blame him. But
No, you
these
neither
are
do
things
I.
that even we've been
And he's
pointing
so
out.
hardworking, even from England. Now he's straight gone to
It is
Bengaluru.
hardworking is everyone.
He's now straight away gone to Bengaluru. He's not gone back to Dehradun to start preparing for Duleep now.
Duleep.
No, very
That's the only place where he gets to play, na? Duleep, Ranji,
No,
Vijay
good on-
Hazare.
good on him.
And he says that again. He also said this IPL auction Mahal thing that I've told you so many times. Na, that IPL auction people just go. He said that because people think that he's a test player, that doesn't mean he is a test player. He had a strike rate of 158 in the previous Mat or Vijay Hazare, either one of the tournaments. Just nobody buys them because the reputation is such. And what are the scouts getting paid for so much? If they also have to go exactly the way we are going with what the reputation of somebody is.
No, we go better. No, we point out
we
before
at
it
least-
happens.
Yeah. And the scouts are being paid crores rupees just so that they can go after what exactly the mahal is. Negative point.
Yeah, I think there is a huge cause of worry for this team with regards to chasing. You look at the two wins that came, both of them came while defending totals. The first time around, there's a big margin. Second, you somehow managed to, cling on. But the very fact that the one time you were put into chase, two times in fact you were put into chase, you weren't able to chase totals down, and I think that's a big problem. 150 plus chases from India. We all went through that stat during the Lord's Test match. It still continues to haunt the Indian team. So you need to figure out fourth innings chases. You should have ideally chased down those 193 runs as well at Lord's, but that for me remains a worry for this Indian team, and you need to find a solution to that. It's a damning indictment of how you are as a batting side in the fourth innings, because for years and years now that besides that chase in Brisbane, you don't have a lot to talk about when it comes to 150 plus chases for this Indian team. And if you're talking about this time making it to the WTC final or just being that juggernaut in Test cricket, it just doesn't add up, these two stats then, or these two things.
Yeah. Any more that you want to mention? Before. Go ahead.
I think very opposite to what you said about the captaincy. I think captaincy for me was a negative in this series, and the reason for that was that Shubman Gill many a times in this series looked really lost. Looked like that he does not have anything to back onto. He started to become really reactive on many occasions. That is something that I noticed with Shubman Gill this captaincy, and it was very evident by his body language on his face that he's getting under pressure or he's really trying to dominate the opponents. And that was something that was very visible on that, and that isn't the right thing. Another thing, I think the captaincy also includes the kind of plans that you're making from starting of the series with by saying that 20 wickets is the most important thing. And I think this was something that Virat Kohli started a couple of, I think a decade back, that 20 wickets you have to take anyhow, and you need bowlers for that. I think Shubman Gill started that way. Now I don't know what exactly changed after the first Test match. Was it Gautam Gambhir's input and Shubman Gill had to go into that and listen to that? Even if that was the case, as a captain, I think it's his job to really put his foot down and make that final call. And if it was against him, and if he did not have that confidence in a Shardul Thakur, in a Washington Sundar, that he did not end up bowling them at all, then maybe that call could have been taken just before the Test match. He could have kept put his foot down and made that call before the toss and before actually submitting the team sheet. And as far as captaincy is also concerned, the team combination, definitely I just pointed it out, and also not having too many plans. I remember it was the first Test match when that 350 got chased down. Prasidh Krishna constantly bowling short pitch delivery, and that was a plan that was made by Shubman Gill to pack the leg side, have a mid-wicket, square leg and a fine leg, and constantly bowl the short pitch deliveries, so that just expecting that the bowlers, the batter ends up mistiming it and it goes for a catch. I saw that even yesterday when they were going after 374 runs, everything looked like that they're cruising towards that target, and Shubman Gill again fell back on that plan. I have no problem with you going after that plan. We've seen in previously also, MS Dhoni also did that in Lords with Ishant Sharma. That worked for him. But once it's not working, you're seeing that the batters are really dominating that. The pace is not that much and they're easily timing it. You could have gone for any other plan. You could have change that plan. So I think Shubman Gill on many fronts as captain was a little confused, was a little lost, and also the team selections. But one thing that you mentioned, and I think that is a very big positive, the distinction that he's made between captaincy and between his batting. He's not letting captaincy affect his batting. But I'm just worried about one thing, that's not happening as of now, and he's very young into his captaincy. It's not even started in that sense, just 5 matches old as far as India captaincy is concerned. So I hope that because as the captain of Indian team, you will have ups and downs, lots of them. You will have bad days as a captain, but that should not affect your batting. So I hope that continues.
So for his batting and captaincy, you're not sure because it's early days. But his tactical error, you're sure is not good enough, captain.
No, I'm saying that I hope that the way his captaincy hasn't affected his batting as of now, that continues.
That's what I'm saying. No, so there are doubts in your mind whether that will be a permanent thing or not, right? But so for this, you're not 100% sure as to whether he'll be able to manage this. But one series has told you what he is as a captain tactically.
No, as of now, there's a lot to learn more.
But that's what I'm saying. So as of now, then you're not getting my point. I'm saying with his batting, his ability to manage batting and captaincy, you're still saying it's happened till now, but we don't know how the future will go. So you're not very definite on that, right?
Yeah.
But you're very definite on how he is.
No, I'm not even definite with
that's
that.
So you tell me, is Virat Kohli a good test captain?
Yeah.
Is Rohit Sharma a good test captain?
Not as good as Virat.
There will be no series where I will not take out 5 tactical mistakes that
True.
Rohit Sharma has made or Virat Kohli. There will be no series where I will not, or we have not taken out flaws in selection, whether it was during Virat Kohli's time or it was in Rohit Sharma's time. In fact, there was some very big blunders that we discussed. So I think there can be no captain that will go through without any scrutiny. Can I be honest? I mean, between Stokes, Ollie Pope and Shubman Gill, 3 captains, and I'm only talking about tactically, forget everything else. Shubman was better than Stokes and Ollie Pope as a tactical captain. In fact, I was very amazed to see how poor Stokes the captain. Stokes the player gave his best. Stokes the player was outstanding, large-hearted, bowled his heart out. When he needed, he stepped up with a bat always. But I'm saying, in terms of his tactics, in terms of his field placements, in terms of how he went about things, I think between the 3 of them, I think Shubman looked the best because I only saw 3 captains in this entire series. So, in general.
But it's not just about the tactical things. I think with Virat Kohli and Rohit Sharma, with Virat Kohli at least, the intent, not just the intention, the message was very clear that they were going for 20 wickets each and every game. Maybe who was playing, who was the personnel, what spinners or fast bowlers were being playing, that was debatable. But over here, the whole combination in itself.
But Harshit pointed out one of his positives is the fact that they've picked up 20 wickets.
Not all. No, they've picked up 20 wickets this game. First game, you failed to do that.
That's what I'm trying to say.
Yeah.
But you also have to be mindful of the fact the kind of pitches that were on offer.
But
did England fail to pick up those 20 wickets in Manchester?
No.
England did. In Manchester.
Yeah.
England failed to pick up those 20 wickets in Manchester as well. England failed to pick up 20 wickets in Edgbaston as well, in the sense that India kept on batting till the longest time. A lot of time they played 4 fast bowlers. So I think
with Shubman Gill, I think he let the momentum shift quite easily towards England. Like when they were scoring runs, they were just scoring and scoring and scoring. You're not really trying to, in a way come back into the game. You're not trying to, as soon as they started hitting runs, you opened up the field. So I think in those ways, the intent and plus, I personally don't think that the team.
Do you rate Pat Cummins as a good captain?
Yeah.
I've seen test matches against when England was batting like that. He had worse field play. It's a very tough situation when people start getting runs. Pat Cummins had opened up the field in the last Ashes series that happened in England. They were on a rampage. He had no idea what to do at that moment. And they were on a rampage, scoring run after a 6 and over. A very different situation that you find yourself in. And anyway, that is how you view each captain. But we'd love to know your thoughts. Yes, please.
Let's begin with the comments, starting with
We'll answer that
international.
tomorrow.
3191. He asks, what is it that we see for Gautam Gambhir in terms of his future as the coach? Guess what? That is something we plan to discuss at greater length tomorrow.
Why don't you, because he's asked the question, why don't you give a one-word answer, each one of you? Answer, are you in favor of GG continuing another year? I'm guessing he's talking about test cricket. Let's be
Yes.
specific. Yes or no should be your answer.
Begrudgingly, yes.
No, you don't have, you're under...
Begrudgingly, yes.
Okay.
No.
Okay. Yes from me. And why? We will come tomorrow.
Tomorrow.
Chili Paneer. Chili Paneer says that since Virat Kohli took over in 2014 December, India has played 35 test series and lost only 7. He's given us the breakup as well. Is that dominance? Next goal is conquer New Zealand and South Africa. Of course, the two frontiers that Virat also
I
could
agree.
not.
That would be incredible. New Zealand, you're going next year. It's a long
Yeah.
gap. That's your first overseas tour, I think.
Yeah.
It's a long gap. By the time you would have played, I think the next test series you're playing is only next. No, when
No, West Indies.
West
Test series you
Indies,
play
हाँ.
overseas
2nd
is
of
26.
October.
I know. That's August, I think. No?
Yeah. No. Which one are you saying?
New Zealand, when are you going?
26.
In August,
Yeah,
no?
August.
Yeah.
I know
It
26,
is
that's-
a year away. Yeah.
Imagine.
So you're playing 2 right now. I think starting 2nd of October, 2 test matches against West Indies. Then you will play 2 more.
What a test series that's going to be after this one.
Let's see. Yeah, of course. Then you play 2 more against South Africa. And then
That should be fun. Even
that
at
should be
home.
fun. Yeah.
Yeah. South Africa.
Holders of the
WTC.
WTC.
Winners.
Champions are coming.
Tembaba Uma will be here.
You'll enjoy these conditions.
Yeah, a lot.
Yeah. Shubman Gill says, Shashwat, are you supposed to give? Were you supposed to give Air Jordans for your bet? But you gave cheap Clark's boots. No, they weren't Clark's boots. Pawan, you should have taken him to the cleaners with $100 worth of Jordans.
No, actually,
$1,000 worth
there
of
was
Jordan.
a cap
$1,000. Sorry.
on that bet at the beginning of it. There was
a cap, and Shubham, just to let you know that Pawan had switched those shoes. He wanted Chelsea boots and
Yeah.
no more Air Jordan. So, to be fair to Shashwat, he Pawan, the winner of the bet, chose those shoes and those were ordered. So it's fair and square. He was not ordering it. Then under pressure he had to do it.
That's
He kept saying no, forget about it. Then we put him under so much pressure. He had to.
really had
So
to be
for
put
those
under
of
the
you who are
sword.
regular watchers know about the bet during the IPL. Shashwat had a bet with Pawan, our producer. Pawan had said that RCB will finish higher, and he had said no, Delhi Capitals will finish higher in the league stage. And did Pawan win the bet? Clearly, not only did they finish higher, they were champions, and Delhi didn't even make it top 4. So clearly,
And the time that the bet was made, Delhi had won 4 out of 4.
Yes.
And RCB were below Delhi at that time.
Delhi, RCB had lost that game to Delhi, that celebration.
So from there, Pawan
It
won
was
it.
a celebration.
That
day.
bet has been honored. For proof, you can check out our posts or our Instagram.
Lots of people have
Photo.
already checked it out, texted, commented.
Just letting them know. Some who haven't. Yes. Vishisht bias.
Says that KL is having a brilliant 2025. He averaged 140 in the Champions Trophy, over 500 runs in the IPL, strike rate of 150 plus, note that, and now over 500 runs in this Test series. Any thoughts, Mr. Balla?
He's picked him as one.
Picked him as the positive of biggest positives of the series. If you can just rewind and see. First point, and yesterday also I said. Also the series, I think he's really, I personally never expected KL Rahul to really, I knew that he has it in him, but I thought mentally he's not that ready.
I don't know. You'd gone with Gill as the highest run scorer for the series, though.
No, at the beginning of the series itself, I'd gone with Rishabh Pant. I'd gone with Rishabh Pant as the highest run scorer.
Shivam had gone.
I'd gone with Rishabh Pant. But I had said that you need KL Rahul and Rishabh Pant to step up if you have to win the series or draw it, and that's exactly what's happened.
I can't remember.
I picked KL Rahul.
You picked Rahul.
Yes.
He's really I'm happy.
No,
to
I
do
liked
it.
what he said in the interview yesterday. He said that I realized that I've stepped into new booths that as a senior now, because there was Rohit and there was Virat, and the youngsters would then go to these guys to talk. But since they weren't around this time, everything in the dressing room changed. So many of these guys were now coming to me and wanted to pick my brains about how is it that you play in these conditions. So, and he realized that this is something that could come his way. So he was very clear that he wanted to train. Remember, he played those 2 games as well in the build up to the series. And he realized that this is now his time to be the senior of this side as well. No, he didn't say it in those many words, but I understand that he wasn't playing playing under anyone's shadows, and at times it gets the best out of people as well.
True.
Shubham Garg with another one. He says that on the 1-3 result, Dagger would be out for Gautam Gambhir, but those daggers are right. Team combination is in a limbo. You won versus 10 men defending 370. You were a bowler short.
Very few occasions when me and Shubham Garg actually
True.
agree on something.
But as I said, at the end of the day, it's like, I'm just saying, Brennan McCullum, I think, how much has he lost? Has he lost his position as coach?
In fact, got in the white ball team also during
In this situation, imagine, reverse the situation. India were in that position, 70 odd to get 7 wickets in hand, and you collapsed like
You've
this.
happened with you in another format, but it has happened.
No, but I'm talking about now. In this, that way in the history of cricket, every team has gone through something. Saying this series ended like this. You were leading and you were chasing 374. You were 301 or 2 for 3.
I think you would have survived, because it was always going to be a Herculean task.
If you had, I am saying, if you would imagine doing a show that day, reverse the situation.
That's fine. We saw this team not been able to chase 127 at home also, na?
No, that so you know how.
And you still survived after that.
No, so, but you were being pushed to the brink. No, see the kind of. I mean, compared to what may have been happening in England to now, when India did not do that, hell broke loose. Be honest. And not that you are changing captain and coach after everything, but I'm just saying in terms of the narrative, it was quite damning. I mean, when this was happening, and I'm sure if this Indian team were in the reverse situation, chasing 374 and you were 301 for 3, from there you collapsed and lost like this. Oh boy.
Shubham Garg has another one for us. He says that funny that without Bumrah you can win. Do you expect Siraj to bowl 46 overs every game with this intensity? We have to be realistic and build a balanced attack.
Nobody's expecting Siraj to be the guy to step up. That's why I think we named 6 bowlers. You have to, and anyway, Siraj not every match in this series also stepped
he
up.
cannot be the only performer every
Akash
time.
picked
Na?
10 wickets that time. Exactly my point.
Stokes' moral code says that what are you guys talking about? England have the moral victory yet again, and Crawley, Pope are going to smash Pat Cummins, Boland and company. Bring on the Ashes, all hail Bazball.
I think he's being
sarcastic. Yes.
Stokes'
And
moral
Shubham
code. I
Garg
like that name as
has
well.
a lot of thoughts for us today. He says that the next England tour 5 years away, fair to say this was the last England tour for Bumrah, Siraj, Jaddu, KL, Karun, and so 6 new players again in the next England tour, young team all over again.
I don't know, maybe KL might play if he continues.
He'll
good
be in
form.
late 30s.
Possible. Siraj is what, 30? He's
1.
30.
31.
Even he can.
But he just turned
maybe
31.
towards the end of his career.
He's 94 born as I understand.
he will be towards his end of his career. I'm sure
31, na? 94 born, right? Yeah.
He'll be towards his end of
He
his
can't
career.
take that much of
If he's not playing any white ball
workload.
right now, then he might. He's not in your white ball teams. That's what I'm saying.
Let's see. KL, you never know. If he
KL might,
decides
for a
to stick
batter,
to
it's
one
slightly
format,
easier.
takes
One format if he'll play, that will only be test.
perhaps.
That's what I'm saying.
what,
So he might make it.
Yeah. Sharan says that now you look back at that Washi innings that nobody is talking about was very crucial and played a major role in this victory. What a fine cricketer Washi is. I think
Yeah,
he's
true.
talking about that
Half century.
swashbuckling manner in which he got to his half century.
With that extension, even Akashdeep 66 that.
Absolutely.
So, Washi, I still expected
Absolutely.
a half century.
Yeah.
He's good enough as a batter to give you half centuries consistently. But Akashdeep 60-60.
After
Bolt from the blue.
Akashdeep did his night watchman duties for the day, everything you got the subsequent day was a bonus.
Yeah, you thought it's done. Even
Yeah.
if he had gone in the first over, you were like, okay.
Yeah.
He did his job of protecting
Exactly.
the batters.
If the repeat
Both
of,
batters might
if
add.
the repeat of
Not
Lords
only
had
one.
happened, then you were running helter skelter.
Yeah.
He was not Akashdeep, he was Virat Kohli.
Hmm.
He was looking like Virat, yes, while batting.
Ashish Dhar says Sunil Gavaskar mentioned the importance of Karun's 57. His partnership with Sundar in the first innings ensured India had a par score with England. One should not forget. Absolutely, you know what all these comments. Of course, you're talking about a Karun, then a KL, and that knock of Washington Sundar. All of that put together just tells you that while Siraj may have written the last chapter of this story, but ultimately there were so many protagonists in this story. It wasn't one man's act, it was a team effort at the end of the day.
Yeah, true.
Ashish Dhar says that the main positive for him is continued fight backs over 5 test matches. That's also something
Yeah, we touched upon. But, yeah, good point.
Jayakrishnan AC says that how can you think as a win, as we cricketing nations or mindset that we can't win in Sena? We Indians have one spot from streets to the stadium.
No, I think what I meant to say with that is, anyway, in England you found it tough, right? You only have 3 series victories to show. You celebrated the last series there, that also ended 2-2 only. But overall it was looked at as a good performance, and that was your full-fledged team. Sure, you should be able to win, I'm not saying that. But I guess when this Indian team went there, not a lot of us had too many hopes. Maybe we underplayed, and maybe we should have been far more confident on this team. Maybe that's not to say they can't win. They won 2 BGTs overseas in Australia. Yes, lost the last one. That's not true. And I agree with your larger point that yes, we are a one sport nation. That is true, but that in no way is reflective of how other teams are. We have always been cricket obsessed, and it's our number one sport. In Australia and England, it's not their number one sport, yet they churn out good enough teams. So it doesn't have to be the number one sport. But yeah, expectations are high, which is why every time the Indian team plays, you expect them to win. But to win everything is not possible. Winning overseas will always be tough. That's the thing about cricket, because cricket is one such thing where playing in foreign condition makes a huge difference. Not so much in anything. Like if you're playing football, yes, home support and all that matters, but pretty much the conditions are same. I don't think there's any sport like cricket where every country has completely different thing. If you're playing in South America football, you go play in Europe, it's almost the same pitch, same ground.
But I get that sentiment where I think we're right in our ways to expect this team to do better than the others when going away from home. The same standards, I believe, cannot be applied to the Indian team for the very fact that firstly you're a superpower. The other thing is you've got all the resources that it takes. It is your primary sport as well. For other nations, it's not the primary sport. So we're only expected to be skillfully the best team as well for everything that we have. And I think that's a very fair expectation to have.
Yeah, but I'm just saying, let's say, for example, Brazil's primary sport is football, but not every time
But they're competing against 100 nations.
Yeah, but I'm just saying that even in their continent, sometimes they're not the best.
Yeah.
I'm just saying they're good. They are the most successful team, but they can. But that doesn't mean that they will not put up a fight in volleyball and stuff like that. There are very good teams there as well. So I'm talking in point of view from Australia and England and all that. Yeah. A lot of these countries have a robust setup. So for example, hockey is even less popular, field hockey, than cricket in Australia. Yet at one point they were the best team on the planet, with just a pocket full of playing. So I think it's all about the sporting culture or the infrastructure or your scientific studies and how you come up with it. No, not to say that to expect India to win everything should be there. But I think that's a deeper study as to why, Does population and obsession with one sport guarantee success? I don't think so.
No, I'm not saying it's because of those two reasons, but I'm saying because of the resources also that you have, because of the way that you get things done as well.
I'll give an example. Like, for example, soccer is very popular in China as well. They have resources, money, they've got the best coaches, everything, but can't produce the best. So I'm saying it's a much deeper study as to going, does resources, population, money, coaching, all of them, can it turn things around? Maybe not. There is a lot more to it than that. It's, I think, a winning mentality.
Let's say in China's case, one thing we know is they don't have the physicality for football. It's just the way.
I mean, that's
you
another
can't fight
debate,
that.
There are a lot of countries with not that kind of physicality. For example, Koreans. I mean, look at them. They're one of the most. But look at where they are in football.
They're an Asian giant.
But even Japan. I mean, Japan has on occasion beaten teams like Germany and all.
Yeah.
So I'm saying same physicality. So it's a very different.
We can go on and on with this conversation.
It is a not one. It's a series of dugout that can be done on just.
My God, Shubman Garg, I think we will have to invite you to our studios one day for so many comments that you have for us. But yeah, all thoughts are welcome. So we're going to take this one as well. Iswaran's strike rate, he says, was 155 in SMAT 2023. Sample size of 6 games, 170 runs with 60 in 30 balls versus Vidarbh. One innings maybe, Shashwat, you can check stat before.
No,
but I was just saying this what his father was saying. I didn't check or say anything.
And I know Shashwat's a very dear friend of yours. You don't have to pick on him for everything. What was the last time he messaged you, Shashwat?
He's never messaged me.
You told na maybe other handle he has.
No, I never said that. No.
That's somebody else.
Yeah, that was somebody else, not him.
Achha,
he's not that sort of a person.
Achha,
that was that guy who fake ID and then he used to text me from his real ID. But Shubham Garg, he sends from his real ID.
Shashwat's very approachable, so please be in touch with him.
Approachable.
Vishal Panchal says, India's win validates playing all-rounders till number 9, but like baseball, it sounds good short-term, but long-term it risks becoming a costly strategy.
Yeah, by the way, one more biggest positive, which I forgot to mention, is that in a way, this entire series, we've hardly heard baseball. So I think this is the series which is like kind of ended baseball. Neither from England camp, Indian camp, press conference. I'm just saying, I think this is the very first series that England have played where baseball has just been maybe once or twice someone has mentioned.
At the very beginning.
It is gone out of the discourse, public discourse.
Can I tell you something funny? For times that for TV, I was writing those scripts and previews and all. I don't remember calling them baseballers beyond the second test match.
That's what I'm saying.
That died in our scripts as well.
This is a one big positive of this series that I think it's died a slow death.
Baseball was nowhere to be seen when they had come here as well.
I agree, but it was still the talking point. It was part of our discourse. No, what are they doing? Root is playing that shot. Baseball will do this. What is baseball? It continues. I think this is that series which is kind of told you by the time it's ended, baseball is not even discussed. Whether pro, against, neutral, whatever, it just vanished out of our memory. The phantom, it's gone.
What this should tell everyone is you just need to see the way England played this particular match, the first innings of it. You look at the way that they played at Lord's in Manchester also briefly. If they're playing calculated cricket more often than so-called aggressive cricket, then they're playing the way that the game is to be played. Yeah. And that doesn't need a special attribution to it or the coining of another word. It's just the way the game is to be played.
Absolutely. Agreed. Okay, last couple of comments before we wind up. You can take Sunny Kadam. He says, do you think Nitish Reddy, Sai Sudarshan, Harshit Rana was selected just because of IPL? And Abhimanyu Sarfraz don't get into the team because they don't have the...
I think a very big reason.
Yeah,
it's partly true actually. It's partly true.
Sunny, I agree with you as well. We mentioned this point here previously as well. Okay, Sahil Saxena says, not sure if it is covered yet, but why Siraj performs better when Bumrah is not playing? We have covered it previously, but I guess just to sum up, I think it's primarily he takes that responsibility. He's like, I have to do it. There is nobody supporting me today, so I have to step up today.
And he believes in himself.
Yeah. Sometimes what happens is you get into that comfort zone because he believes so much in Jassi Bhai. that you think that Jassi Bhai will do it. I'll just be the support cast.
You saw that
Can
reel, na? It was his own teammates who made him say into the camera, I only believe in myself. I only believe in Mia Bhai.
Yeah.
That was good.
Vishal Panchal from the US says, Nasir Hussain says baseball with mind. But he said it in the first or the second test match. I think first test match, whatever. We made fun of it. That what is baseball with mind? Baseball with mind is nothing but regular cricket. So don't need to use it. But yeah, it kind of just finished. Shall we wind up? Or you want to take... Siddhant Patil says Ravindra Jadeja's performance in this series makes him for another WTC cycle. Not sure. Again, Jadeja the bowler needs to step up.
Yeah.
Jadeja the batter, yes. But you're playing him primarily as a bowler, so his wickets have left a lot to be desired.
Okay, Ashish Dhar says that SG in the comment that he'd sent to us didn't mean Sunil Gavaskar, it meant Shubman Gill.
So what was the comment?
That he had said something about...
some combination I think that he talked about. No, up. Importance of Karan's 57.
Yeah.
So we talked about Shubman Gill only.
Yeah, we did talk about Shubman Gill. Okay, guys, on that note, take care. Bye. You want to take Siddharth's comment, Harshit? Why
I'll take... I saw that, but I'll again go on a long... spree, so that's why I stopped short. Siddharth, actually we should have that talk on social media, maybe, whatever, on another platform, because Nikhil and Siddharth and Shashwat will then kill me for talking too much football. Okay guys, take care. Thank you always for joining us for another edition of the Dugout. We always enjoy your company. Do give us a like in the video. That will mean a lot to us. Tomorrow is another day. We'll be back at our regular time, 6:30. We've already told you what is it that we intend to talk about. Yeah, baby. Shashwat will come prepared. Oh, he's waiting. He's prepared already. Prepared day before. Shashwat, we can record it or we can start another stream right now, right? Yeah. No preparation needed, I feel. No stats brushing up. Pawan already has a stat ready. Ready since yesterday. Anyhow, this is lovely, guys. As always, we enjoyed spending our evening with you. Do check out some of the other videos that we have for you as well. Until next time, it's goodbye, Nandri, Shubhratri, Shabba Khair, eat your vegetables. And don't trouble your mother. Bye-bye.